grinding every day. Long hours, no backup, no accountability. That ends now. The Empower Solopreneur Mastermind gives you one simple advantage: a weekly power session that turns isolation into domination. Every Friday morning on Zoom, you'll get real coaching and real feedback to make real moves. Join a group of driven professionals in a program designed for solopreneurs and people working at home. Stop getting stuck. Start scaling. Seats are limited. Lock in yours today at modernobserver.com/empower-mastermind.
Reinvigorating the coal industry, massive tax and spending hikes in New York City, mortgage rates drop, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Iran is rebuilding nuclear sites damaged in previous U.S. strikes and preparing for war despite engaging in talks with the Trump administration, according to a prominent Iranian opposition figure. The deputy director of the Washington office of the National Council of Resistance of Iran said newly released satellite images also proved the regime has accelerated its efforts to restore its $2 trillion uranium enrichment capabilities. The regime has clearly stepped up efforts to rebuild its uranium enrichment capabilities, he said. It is preparing itself for a possible war by trying to preserve its nuclear weapons program and ensure its protection. The Trump administration is stepping up its push to reinvigorate the U.S. coal industry as it pursues its goal of boosting energy security. Last week, the Department of Energy announced it would provide $175 million in funding for projects to modernize, retrofit, and extend the useful life of 6 coal-fired power plants that serve rural and remote communities. The agency said the move is intended to keep dependable sources of energy online while also strengthening the reliability of the electric grid and keeping electricity costs low for American households and businesses. The funding came from a previously announced $525 million plan to extend the life of coal plants and increase efficiency, because the administration views modernizing existing plants as a fast and cost-effective way to provide reliable power while preserving high-wage energy jobs. The recent boom in AI data centers has pushed the need to generate more energy. President Donald Trump announced Thursday that 9 members of his Board of Peace have pledged $7 billion towards a Gaza relief package. While significant, the amount represents only a fraction of the estimated $70 billion needed to rebuild the Palestinian territory after 2 years of conflict. Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, the United Arab Emirates, Morocco, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Uzbekistan, and Kuwait have committed to the pledge, according to Trump. Every dollar spent is an investment in stability and the hope of a new and harmonious region, the president said at the group's inaugural meeting Thursday in Washington, D.C. Trump said the United States would pledge $10 billion, though he didn't specify how the funds would be allocated. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani warned that his preliminary budget would be a tax on working and middle-class New Yorkers on Tuesday. Property taxes would be raised by 9.5%. This would effectively be a tax on working and middle-class New Yorkers who have a median income of $122,000, the mayor said. Mamdani unveiled his preliminary budget proposal for 2027, outlining a plan to close a projected $5.4 billion deficit. Under state law, New York City must pass a balanced budget. To bridge the gap, Mamdani proposed a 9.5% increase in property taxes, resulting in a top tax of almost 30% for property owners, and raiding the city's rainy day fund and the retiree health benefits trust fund. The city would also take $980 million from its rainy day fund and take $229 million from the Retiree Health Benefits Trust, he said. Mamdani's proposal would increase the city's overall spending from former Mayor Eric Adams' $115 billion budget to $127 billion. Mamdani described the property tax hike and reserve raid as a last resort, preferring to instead raise taxes on high-income earners and corporations, which would require approval from New York Governor Kathy Hochul, who has promised New Yorkers she will not raise taxes in 2026. Without Hochul agreeing to raise taxes, Mamdani is left with raising property taxes as his administration's primary lever. Bill Gates pulled out of the India AI Impact Summit on Thursday, just hours before he was due to appear to give a keynote speech. The Microsoft co-founder's decision to cancel his appearance at the high-profile event follows mounting scrutiny over his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. After careful consideration and to ensure the focus remained on the AI Summit's key priorities, Mr. Gates did not deliver the keynote address at the AI Summit, the Gates Foundation said in a statement provided to Business Insider. Mortgage rates dropped this week to the lowest level since September 2022, mortgage buyer Freddie Mac said Thursday. Freddie Mac's latest primary mortgage market survey, released Thursday, showed the average rate on the benchmark 30-year fixed mortgage fell to 6.01% from last week's reading of 6.09%. The average rate on a 30-year loan was 6.85% a year ago. Walmart beat Wall Street's fourth quarter revenue estimates, reporting that holiday sales rose by 6%, thanks to growth in its digital and advertising businesses. But there was a big caveat. The retail giant's fiscal 2027 projections came in below estimates, citing a volatile economic environment amid low consumer sentiment and a shaky job market. That's the Raw Naked Truth for February 20th, 2026. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.